Coming up in today's edition of Jamaica Magazine, we'll explore what you can do to help preserve law and order in our country, plus steps to take when registering your company or business. And later, the National Solid Waste Management Authority is getting more persons to recycle. I am Adrian Atkinson, and I'll be your guide through the pages of the magazine today, where we'll have those features after the news of the day. Stay tuned.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, December 14. Minister of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Carl Samuda, is reassuring the public that no evidence of plastic rice has been found in tests carried out so far by the Bureau of Standards. While urging calm, he says the process of testing will continue.
And I've said to the Consumer Affairs Commission that they are to examine the warehouses and the storerooms of every supermarket, every outlet in the country that they can get to. And in addition, I've told them that they are to receive from the suppliers, the supermarkets, or wherever they find it, a certification as to where is the source of that rice.
Following a temporary cease on clearance of rice at the port, Minister Samuda says instructions have been given for the clearance of rice from Guyana and Suriname to allow for adequate supply to the market.
The reason for this is very simple. In addition to everything else, Guyana and Suriname are considered a part of our domestic market. They are members of CARICOM, and we have never had incidents of any kind of difficulty, contamination or otherwise. So there is no justifiable reason for us to hold those shipments of rice for the Jamaican people.
The Industry and Commerce Minister says this move does not reduce the level of vigilance that is being taken by the government, as all imported rice will undergo spot checks and testing. In the meantime, the Commerce Ministry, Bureau of Standards and Consumer Affairs Commission are investigating reported incidents of fake labeling on rice imported from countries in the Far East. Minister Samuda says the investigation was triggered after Customs detected and reported the labeling anomalies.
And any doubt at all that we are in, we cannot put our Jamaican people at risk. We have to be very certain of the source of food that enters this country. And all the agencies that I mentioned will spare nothing in ensuring the safety of the Jamaican consumers.
The Jamaica Tourist Board has signed a Memorandum of Understanding that is designed to boost the local tourism sector's offerings in the area of home sharing accommodations. The MOU was signed on Tuesday with Airbnb, which allows people to list, discover, and book short-term home sharing accommodations online or from a mobile phone or tablet. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says he expects the partnership to have a positive impact on visitors' travel experience and Jamaica's overall tourism product.
In Jamaica, the home sharing accommodation service has some 2,300 active hosts and 4,000 active listings scattered across the island, and the marketing is growing.
The MOU establishes a framework for cooperation to regulate the services offered by Airbnb. It includes measures to benefit and safeguard Jamaican Airbnb hosts and establishes hosting standards and best practices for homestay facilities. The public health sector is to benefit from over 3 million euros or 400 million Jamaican dollars shortly under the EU-sponsored program for the reduction of maternal and child mortality PROMAC. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the money will go towards work to upgrade Jamaica's maternal and neonatal health service.
International tenders have just concluded, and we anticipate that in 2017 we'll be provided with medical equipment for the 10 remaining high dependency units, as well as the radiographic and laboratory equipment to 4 selected primary care centers and 2 community hospitals.
Dr. Tufton says contract negotiations have also just concluded with a successful supplier for the provision of 150 fully equipped midwife bags to support the delivery of midwifery services in 75 health centers across the country. The minister was speaking at a recent recognition ceremony for healthcare workers trained under the PROMAC program. So far, 51 specialist nurses and physicians have benefited from postgraduate training through the University of the West Indies. And finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has directed the National Works Agency to share its template of priorities with all members of Parliament to get them fully updated on the agency's All-Island Mitigation Program. Mr. Holness's instructions follows Tuesday's meeting with Opposition Leader Portia Simpson-Miller and her team at Jamaica House. While acknowledging the opposition as a key partner in the country's governance structure, the Prime Minister discussed several matters, among them explaining elements of the $548 million mitigation program. He revealed that the second phase of the program will exclusively focus on cleaning the island's drain network. The opposition in turn said the changes were appreciated across the board. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
We have a subculture that supports those who do not inform, an anti-informer culture that pervades our entire society that we must break down.
An orderly society is our responsibility as much as it is the responsibility of the security forces. Listen up as the Security Minister highlights how each of us can play our part in maintaining law and order.
The community belongs to us. We must not only seek to collect more garbage, we must litter less. I'm making an appeal. Throw the garbage in your car on the floor until you get home and you can dispose of it properly. I want to warn all my officers who serve this beautiful country of Jamaica. If you know anybody that is going to bribe you, tell them don't do it. Because a police officer can only be bribed by a member of the public. So if you accuse the police officer of taking a bribe, I also have to wonder who bribed you. So it's a two-way street. If there is not a bribee, there cannot be a briber. So you have a part to play. If you're driving fast and you're going to get a ticket, don't offer the officer a bribe. Go pay your ticket. It is when we feel safe that people will invest. That my sister here will have more functions. And when she has more functions, the jerk chicken man sell more chicken. And when the jerk chicken man sell more chicken, the wholesaler sell more chicken. And when the wholesaler sell more chicken, he will employ your daughter or your son because business are run. Prosperity are run for it, and it will run for you. And the taxi man can run all 4 o'clock a morning because he feels safe. And when the taxi man runs, he earn enough money to send his children to school. And when his children go to school, they turn back to teacher and businessman too. We are from the greatest nation under the sun. We are Jamaica. We stand tall anywhere and everywhere we go.
We are going to work our hearts out as police officers, but we will not be able to do anything without the support of the community. You are going to have to be prepared to work with us. We are here extending our hand to you. to ask you to join with us in partnership to get this community and this parish back.
And let us work together in partnership. Let us encourage everybody youngsters to join the police youth club. And if there's no police youth club, start a police youth club and invite the police. But we have to hold each other's hands. We have to work together, because the increasing of public safety will benefit all of us.
Informing, educating, entertaining. That's what we do. Keep watching Jamaica Magazine.
There are only 17 days left in 2016. Only 17 days. While persons are preparing to celebrate Christmas, others are making plans for the new year. If setting up a business is on your to-do list for 2017, here is how to get started.
Have you realized that more and more Jamaicans are becoming their own bosses? Think about it. Varying types of companies or businesses are being opened all over the island. But before they could start their operations, they first had to be registered with the Companies Office of Jamaica, COJ. The process to register a business and a company are not the same. In fact, many believe that a company is the same as a business, but they really aren't. A company is a non-profit or profit-generating commercial enterprise registered or incorporated under the Companies Act, while a business is a sole trader or partnership registered under the Business Names Act. So with that said, we will be differentiating the registration process for each of these two groups for you. Let's begin with how to register a business. For new applicants, you will need to complete and submit the Business Registration Form BRF1, also known as the Super Form. You will also need a document verifying the owner or owner's current place of address, such as a driver's license or utility bill. The business owner or owners must present their tax registration number or TRN, an original valid government identification card, and a work permit or exemption letter where applicable. Professional certification is required for some businesses, such as doctors, lawyers, dentists, pharmacists, engineers, architects, surveyors, real estate dealers and developers, custom brokers, hairdressers, barbers, pest control operators, child care and golden age care services. Now, the last thing left to do is to pay the necessary registration fees. The registration fee of a sole trader is $2,500. To register a partnership of 2 to 5 persons is also $2,500. The registration fee of a partnership of 6 to 20 persons is $5,000. And the registration of a partnership and a trade name as it relates to a corporation is $3,000 each. After you've submitted all the relevant documents and made the requisite payments, the documents will be verified by the COJ. Then within 2 working days, you will receive a certificate of registration. This certificate is valid for 3 years, and the TRN and NIS number of your business will be displayed at the base. Certification ensures that you are registered with the National Housing Trust and Heart Trust NTA. Now, let's move on to how to register your company. There are some company owners who, before registering their non-profit or profit-generating company, reserved their company name. The COJ has made it possible for these persons who may not be able to afford the fees associated with the registration of their company, or who are in the process of accumulating the relevant documents, to first reserve a name for their company up to 90 days before it's registered. This is a very beneficial opportunity because if you do this, you will 1. Establish that the proposed name is appropriate and available for use. 2. Protect the name from use by others during the 90 days reservation period. And 3. Allow your company assured use of the name for pre-incorporation contracts. So, if you decide to reserve the name of your company and reap the benefits, you will need to do 2 things. Complete and submit the company's name search and name reservation form, Form 6. And when that's done, you'll be required to pay a fee of $500 for the name search and $3,000 for the name reservation. At the end of the process, you will receive a letter advising you of the reservation of your company name. But if you choose to go right ahead and register your company, there are a few things to do. First on the list, complete the Articles of Incorporation form. If you are registering a profit-making company, you will complete Form 1A. But if you are registering a non-profit company such as a church, charity, service club, or NGO, you will be required to complete Form 1B. When completing the forms, you should ensure they contain details such as the name of the company with the word limited added at the end, the core business of the company, the classes of shares and the maximum number of shares that the company is authorized to issue. For example, 1,000 ordinary shares. Restrictions on share transfers. Minimum and or maximum number of directors. Names and particulars of the proposed directors and the company secretary. Names of proposed shareholders, as well as any restrictions on the business that the company may carry on. For example, the company may not support any political party. All articles will attract a stamp duty fee. Stamping is done at the COJ. The second thing to do to register your company is to complete the Business Registration Form BRF1, also known as the Super Form. On this form, you will be filling in the required information needed on the principal director, all other directors, the company secretary, registered office, and the projected start date. These details are now mandatory for the registering of a company. The super forms should be signed by all the directors of the company, as well as the person declaring the accuracy of the information submitted on the form. This person must present an original valid government-issued identification or a certified copy of a government-issued identification card on location. The final thing to do is to pay transaction fees. The cost for registration is $24,000, and there's a minimum of $500 for stamp duty. After you've gone through all the steps and made the requisite payments, COJ will verify the documents, and then you'll receive a certificate of incorporation within 5 working days. With the certificate of incorporation, you will also receive the company's TRN and NIS number. The certification ensures that you are registered with the National Housing Trust and Hard Trust NTA. You also get a tax compliance certificate, TCC, which is valid for 90 days. If the time period to get your certificate is too long and you want to register at the soonest possible time, then you can make use of the expedition services offered by the COJ. There's the same-day service which can be accessed at a cost of $6,000 for companies and $3,000 for businesses. Then there's the next-day express service which can be accessed at a cost of $3,000 for companies and $1,500 for businesses. The cutoff time for the same-day express service is 9:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. for the next-day express service. And that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact the company's Office of Jamaica for more information by calling 908-4419 or visiting their office at 1 Grenada Way, Kingston 5. Remember, you can access all forms and samples on the COJ's website at orcjamaica.com. Congratulations to you and all the best with your business or company.
A simple way to reduce pollution is through recycling. The National Solid Waste Management Authority has rolled out a program in several communities that is aimed at getting persons to recycle. Take a look.
The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, has been partnering with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, since 2004. Over this 12-year period, 30 employees from the NSWMA have been to Japan, where they received training in areas that included composting, managing recycling facilities, landfill management techniques, sustainable solid waste for CARICOM countries, sustainable waste management for Caribbean islands, solid waste management A, which consists of basic introductory courses, and Solid Waste Management B, which consists of advanced courses. Beneficiaries on return submit a report and a proposal on the subject matter for funding by JICA under their follow-up cooperation facility. One such project is the Solid Waste Reduction through Waste Separation, Waste Diversion and Recycling pilot project.
The Solid Waste Reduction through Waste Separation, Waste Diversion and Recycling pilot project supports one of the main mandates of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, that is to implement programs that will effect behavioral change. So we welcome this initiative. For the next 6 months, the pilot project will be in 3 communities, namely Caribbean Estates and Caymanas Country Club Estates in St. Catherine and Rollington Town in Kingston. The project is estimated to be about $7 million, of which $6.7 million is being funded by the government of Japan through the Jamaica International Cooperation Agency, JICA, and as such we are very grateful for this. In the coming months, we will be meeting with residents, hosting community meetings, attending the Citizens Association meetings, and basically encouraging persons to separate their plastic containers, their cardboards and cans from their regular household waste. So we will be asking residents to take out these items, and a separate truck will come and do the collection, and we will give these items to a third-party companies. The learnings from this pilot project will assist the authority to develop policies and plans to guide and to help us to better manage solid waste and to get residents to buy into the concept of separating their plastic containers, their cans, and also cardboards from their regular household waste. So at the end of the project, we will be in a much better position to determine behavior and attitude towards separation at source, how to really convince and to influence persons, residents, to separate these items from their regular household items.
On behalf of JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, I am pleased that NSWMA holds this pilot project of waste reduction through waste separation, waste diversion, and recycling. This project is planned by a senior planning officer of NSWMA who had participated in JICA training in Japan titled Sustainable Solid Waste Management for CARICOM countries. After he returned from Japan, he planned it based on what he'd learned in Japan. I am happy that JICA can assist this project and the JICA follow-up cooperation program. Although the amount is not bigger than 6.5 million Jamaican dollars. JICA has been offering several training programs to NSWMA since 1980s. So far about 30 NSWMA staff had participated in these JICA training programs.
This is a good government initiative based on a sponsorship from the Japanese government. It has allowed us to be one of the pilot projects, and we, the citizens and the residents of Caymanas, are grateful for this project because it allows us to sort our garbage, especially with the PET bottles. These are a continuous growing source of concern for our garbage collection with regards to blocking our drains and causing havoc on sea life. NSWMA Solid Waste Management has given us the bags so that it will encourage residents to carry out their bottles and put them in a central area that will be collected once a week. We will be sensitizing the residents based on the fact that it will encourage us to reduce our solid waste disposal.
We are taking up the plastic bottles, which we call the PET bottles, for recycling. So what we do, we separate them from the regular garbage in order to have the community be in a better environment. We have collections at the primary school, the Rollington Town Primary School, at 17 Montague Street, at the fire station, and Orcutt Road for now, but we are enlightening the rest of the community people about this project. It will help the community in a vibrant way because less garbage, less bottles being around, seeing that we have the Zika virus around, this will also help to decrease the mosquito-borne disease being harbored around.
I think it is a phenomenal first step in the right direction that Jamaica needs to go, engaging the community. Recycling Partners, as you know, fully endorses the program. And as we mentioned, we will continue once your test period is done. We are committed to continue cleaning up those neighborhoods and collecting the bottles. And we'll also use it as a test pilot for other communities that we are hoping to bring on board.
Waste separation is the way forward, and the NSWMA, through our partners, is working to make this a way of life for all.
We're asking parents and family members who are buying gifts to ensure that they check and double check the quality of the toy, ensure that there are no sharp edges, no loose, small parts. So you're buying a teddy bear for a pre-toddler. Make sure it doesn't have any removable eyes that can be bitten off and swallowed by the child, etc. And for the adults, it's also to ensure that what you're buying, you buy from a reputable establishment. Ensure that you ask for a warranty. Ensure that the warranty includes whether or not it includes labor. If there's a limited time period, how much is required to be invested by the consumer in order to replace that item, repair that item, and or get your refund. We also think about the safety of the consumer online. And so what we want to ask you to do is to ensure that you look for the key things. Go online, go into the search engine, type the name of the store, look for that green padlock, and HTTPS, remember that S, before you start entering your banking information. The major block of complaints that the Consumer Affairs Commission gets is on electrical equipment. So we're saying to consumers, test that item when you buy it in the store. Look for that UL stamp on the cord to ensure that it's not some fly-by-night wiring. Ensure that when you plug it in, it doesn't spark. We're also asking that you ask for a written warranty for that item before you leave the store. Consumer protection is about collective security, collective concern, collective advocacy. So we're asking you look out for each other, you ensure that your family is safe, your neighbor is safe, your community is safe, and that the products and the foods and all the things that you intend to consume over the holidays are also safe. So call us, email, write, walk in. We'll be ready to assist for any concern that you may have or any doubts that you may have about any transaction that you have encountered in the marketplace.
That's all we have for you today. Do join us again tomorrow for another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Let us know what you think about today's show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm, and don't forget to visit our website, jis.gov.jm. Follow us on Twitter @JIS News or like our Facebook page. I am Adrian Atkinson. On behalf of the entire production team, have yourselves a great evening.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.